Reinforcement and parent. Okay. I put these two together because they go together. Reinforcement. Any consequence follows a response, increases the likelihood that that response will occur again. And like I said, you can accidentally do this to incorrect responses or inappropriate behavior. You're still reinforcing. People say, no, I'm not. You know, the kid just yelled to, I want water, I want water. You know, throws the cup at the person, okay, I'll get you your water. And they get him the water and give it to him. And I'm just like, wow, you just reinforced that. And they're like, what do you mean I reinforce it? Because they think reinforce means giving him a reward for doing something good. No, you just reinforce the likelihood that next time he'll yell and throw the cup at you again to get water. Because he knows that's how he got it last time. So you want to think about that. So when I have, many of you do functional behavior assessments, behavior intervention plans, this is where you get into analyzing that. Am I increasing an appropriate or inappropriate behavior? So that's something that we want to think about. Strength of a reinforcer. This is a big concept that can take a while to understand. You have to have strength in your reinforcers, and it varies all the time. Differential reinforcement means sometimes a child gets more reinforcement, sometimes it gets less reinforcement. Sometimes it's more frequent, sometimes it's less frequent. But your strength determines how much you're able to motivate the child. You increase motivation by having a stronger reinforcer, meaning they want that thing way more than they want that thing, so I'm going to use that right now because we're doing a difficult task, or I'm going to use that right now because I want to get him to that next level of learning a new skill. So you think about that all the time. Okay, so why do we use reinforcement? It's essential in teaching new skills, and it ties directly to the correct response. It teaches them that's what you want to do again. And that is why it's a teaching tool. People think it's reinforcing a child is often an afterthought. And they're talking about difficulties that they're having teaching, and the first thing I say to them, okay, so tell me what your reinforcers are. What are you using? How do you do your reinforcer assessment? I want to know the strength of your reinforcers. And they're like, okay, what are you talking about? Because some people think about reinforcers and consequences and punishment in terms of only behavior, not in terms of also teaching. Okay, so we have to use motivation for teaching our kids on the spectrum because their brain is not wired for intrinsic motivation to learn these things that they need to use and to function in our environment. They often don't care. I'd say it on another. Oh yeah, here. They don't care or they don't understand its importance. So why should I do what you're telling me to do? Why do I care what the colors are? What do I care about numbers? I want to go over here and I want to stand with my little toy. That's what they're motivated to do. So we are constantly providing that extrinsic motivation. That's your most powerful teaching tool to get them to learn. Because hopefully, once they learn that skill, it becomes more intrinsic. They realize, I can't tell you how many kids on the spectrum I work with, and once they learn how to read, it's like you think we were torturing them in a torture chamber. And then they learn how to read, and you can't get them away from books. All they want to do is read books because they all have their obsessions, and then they realize, I can read about all those trains that I love. I can read, Thomas the Train or SpongeBob or whatever they're into, dinosaurs, all those things. And they realize, holy cow, So that's that hope that you fight tooth and nail to teach them those skills so that hopefully they become more intrinsically motivated to use that skill, learn it, and then move on. And you create a pattern of learning. I do a whole thing about what's called teaching children to learn how to learn. It's a huge concept. Typical people, us, were born with that inner capacity of knowing how to learn from our environment. Now we all have some areas we can tell you we struggle with. Kids that have learning disabilities have that area that they have difficulty with. But that ability to learn how to learn is not there in the beginning in our kids' lives. And we do not know how to learn from their environment. So we're really teaching it to them. And that's the thing that's so sometimes overwhelming, because you feel like, oh, I've got to get that there. And when you start seeing that happen, it's so powerful and so wonderful. And, I'm such a sucker. I start crying, and oh my gosh. So you're using that as your teaching tool and motivate to keep them moving along.